Y'at Mes Amis. This is HD, the Harvest Disseminator, bringing you a review of the Hasbro Marvel Legends Walgreens Exclusive Dani Moonstar. And without further ado, let's chop up. So here's Dani in the packaging. This is controversial, at least in my mind, this action figure, because it's really 3 action figures. In order to get Dani Moonstar, Karma, and Wolsbane, you have to buy 3 Dani Moonstars in order to get the 3 figures. So in my mind, in my opinion, I really feel like this should have been a New Mutants 3-pack. And they should have given every figure 2 sets of hands, maybe 2 head sculpts, and each of them with an effect. But as it stands right now, we have Dani Moonstar, no extra hands. Perhaps you can get away with using Karma's, perhaps, but they're really meant for Karma. And she does come with a weapon, so that's legit. So this definitely is a Dani Moonstar, but you're also getting Wolsbane and you're also getting Karma. So, you know, it's confusing. I really think it should have been a 3-pack. So I really feel it should have looked like this, and it doesn't. So I think this would have been more appropriate for the figure, or the 3-pack, or the 3 action figures, because you got to buy all 3 of them. You're spending $60 no matter what. And I know most collectors are going to buy 3 Dani Moonstars in order to get the 3 figures on their shelves. So in my mind, it would have just been made better sense to have given us a 3-pack, much like the Jean Grey 3-pack that's coming out here soon, as you see pictured here on the video. So let's get her back. She is packaged individually, or they are packaged individually. I don't even know how to term this. I'm going to do 3 different reviews because they're 3 different figures. I bought 3 different figures. I really hunted for these figures for a while too. And several weeks searching for them. And so this is like hard earned. This is like gas money, sweat and tears. Trying to get these 3 figures here, all right? 3 different Walgreens. So, you know, I hunted for these bad boys and I found them. I'm doing 3 different reviews because they're 3 different figures, all right? Now, if it would have been a 3-pack, I would have went to one store, picked all 3 of them up at once. It would have been one review, but I can't do it like that. I just can't. I work too hard. So therefore, let us take a look at Dani Moonstar in this video. So here goes Dani in her packaging. Let's take a look at it, y'all. Here's Dani in her packaging. And so let's get the lights on this bad boy a little bit better. So yeah, you know, I love the presentation. I like the insignia, the New Mutants insignia. It looks really nice. She does look good in the packaging. You do have an artistic depiction of Dani on the side. You have a fuller depiction on the back. And it says, part of a group, Dani Moonstar, part of a group of young mutants. Dani Moonstar has the ability to conjure illusions based on her enemy's deepest fears. Very powerful. You have the artistic depiction there. You do have the X-Men insignia here on top. This is a Walgreens exclusive, and there goes the barcode down there at the bottom. So I like the presentation. She looks great. Let's get her out the box and let's see what she's about. And here is Dani Moonstar out of the packaging. She is looking extremely impressive. I like the figure so far. First impressions are, you know, way up there. The head sculpt looks amazing. So does the body sculpt. The paint apps are a little bit off. I'm digging the bow and arrow. Even though the positioning that you can get her in, it's not very convincing that she's shooting a bow and arrow. But nonetheless, man, you know, this is looking real good. And let's take a closer look when we get off the stand. check out her head sculpt, body sculpt, and all of that other lanyard. But first, let us take a look at exactly who Dani Moonstar is. So Dani Moonstar is one of the few Native American superheroes in the Marvel universe. So this figure to me is really important. It expresses some diversity within the Marvel universe. Dani Moonstar, you know, she went by a couple of different names in the comic books. She was known as Psyche, and later on she was known as Mirage. She made her first appearance in 1982 in the New Mutants graphic novel, and of course she would be a mainstay in the 1983 run of New Mutants, and in every publication of the New Mutants going forward, she was involved. Be that 2003, 2008, 2009, she was a member of X-Force. She made appearances in that 1991 run. She's seen even in the background scenes in some of the Uncanny X-Men comic books. She made a pact with Hela, where she was given certain powers from her. Her actual mutant power is she has the psychic ability to manifest people's fears or even wishes. So she's a very powerful mutant. She's an amazing figure. I loved reading her in the 90s. We used to pick up New Mutants at the Time Saver. Time Saver was a convenience store around New Orleans, and we used to pick up the X-Men too. And so Spider-Man as well. We used to pick up all kind of different comic books from Time Saver. But I remember reading Dani as a youth and being very attracted to her character. The whole appearance of the demon bear in the comic books that's associated with her. You know, just a phenomenal character. So I'm really glad that we have an action figure of Dani. And with that said, let us take a look at some of her accessories. Alright, y'all, let's look at the facts. She came extremely accessorized. However, everything is exactly the same. She came with two, of course she has a head sculpt already. She came with 2 additional head sculpts. She came with 4 additional hands. She came with 3 bow and arrows. And again, they're absolutely the same. Now, when you do look at the head sculpts, the eyes are a little funny on. It's like she's squinting with this one right here. Look, as opposed to this one right here. So you might be able to get away and say, look, man, she has a different facial expression. Let's pull in this third one right here and see if that's much different. That one's similar to the one in the middle. So yeah, so you maybe you can get away and say, yeah, man, you can get 2 different facial expressions out of them with these 2 head sculpts, perhaps. But it is the same exact head sculpt. We'll take a closer look at that in a minute. I'm just looking at the accessories real quick. And that's the problem with this figure, is that if she would have came in the box set, we would have got 1 bow and arrow, 1 bow, 1 arrow, set of hands, and they can have given us a different set of hands here, and maybe even given us a different head sculpt with a different, you know, expression on it. Instead, we got 3 heads, 3 bows, 3 arrows, and 6 of the same hands. So those are the accessories. Now, to take a look at this bow, it's probably reused from somewhere else. Let me know in the comments below. Maybe it's new. I'm not, you know, entirely sure. But for what it is, it's real nice. I like the paint apps right there on the little rope that goes around her the area where she handles it. That's real nice. Let's see what else we got going on with this piece. Doesn't want to really focus too much because we have all this stuff in the background. Let me move some of this stuff out the way. So yeah, the bow came out nice. I like how it's sculpted. It's kind of like this lighter brown color, if you will. And for what it is, it came out real nice. I like the shape of it and everything. And then you do have an arrow that comes along with her as well. So it has kind of like this black arrow up front. It's a wooden arrow. And of course you have the feathers here like on the tail of it. And this fits in her hand real nice. So everything fits real good. And of course, you know, just to take a look at the hands, it's just basic female hands that hold an object for a female Marvel Legends action figure. So with that, let us take a look at the body and the head sculpt. So taking a closer look at her head sculpt, you know, I'm impressed with it. I think it looks good. I like the headband here. Is that sculpted in? It in fact is sculpted in, and then they painted it. So that's real nice. I like her facial expression. Her eyes came out nice. These aren't too wonky, so they look good. Her lips are very voluptuous, very nicely done. The hair is glued on. I can even see some ears back there. I know it might be hard for y'all to see it, but I can see her ears back there. So this hair is glued on, and the hair is real nice, solid black. And of course you have these two ponytails here in the back, which came out really nice, and that's very faithful to the comic book depiction of Dani Moonstar. And of course, look at the New Mutant uniform, man, real nice. The X right here came out really nice on the uniform. The paint apps are a little blurry. All over there's paint discrepancies. You can see it right there on her chest. You can see some yellow right here on the hinge where they never painted it in that well on the torso swivel, excuse me. You know, so what else do we have for paint? Everything else looks pretty legit and decent. So yeah, you have the arms here that came out pretty good. The way the body's sculpted, her butt's nice, her legs, the boots, it's very basic. But again, for what it is, the body's sculpted really, really nice. So with that, let us take a look at her articulation. Our beautiful lady here, Dani, is going to be able to look up this far. Not very far at all, because her hair hinders her from looking up so high. That's her head straight. That's her head looking up. Okay, so it just looks up just a tad bit. She can look all the way down, so that's pretty far. Of course, you can get a swivel on this head if you want one. You know, it does manage to go side to side and pivot just a tad bit, so that's nice. With the arms, they come out that much. You can get a full 360 on these puppies. You do have a single jointed elbow. It can bend in this far. It can bend outwards that far. So that's cool for a single jointed elbow. It's pretty articulated. Can she touch her face? Not really. She gets to the top of her head. Again, what I'd like to see with some of these female figures in the mold is butterfly joints. I think that it's possible to implement that with these female figures. Okay, here at the, of course, this swivels as well. Okay, her elbow joint swivels. Her wrist swivels. Of course, you have a hinge there. You do have this upper torso swivel, so you can swivel that around if you'd like to. She can crunch back that far. She can crunch forward that much. You have no waist swivel. You can make her do a split that far out. She kicks up that far. She can kick this far back. So that's pretty decent. You do have an upper thigh swivel. You have double jointed knees, which are great. You do not have a boot swivel. A boot swivel would have been nice. If this would have been a male figure, perhaps we may have gotten it. Of course, her feet can go, these are kind of fresh. They can go up that high. They can go down that low. You have ankle pivoting going on right here. You have peg holes at the bottom of her feet. And you also have a peg back here on her back as well. I want to point that out. So articulation is pretty basic for a female Marvel Legends action figure. And with that, let us take a look at how tall she is. And in the black trousers, oh no, she fell over. And in the black trousers, the beautiful Dani Moonstar is going to stand in at roughly 6 inches. And here's Dani Moonstar scale next to one of the original New Mutants, Cannonball. It'd be nice to get a Cannonball in one of those New Mutant uniforms. We'll see if that'll ever happen. And of course, we have Warlock. It's to be seen if we're going to get Cypher. We know that we're going to get Sunspot next year. However, he won't be in the New Mutants uniform. However, we will get Sunspot, and we could add him to the collection. So here's Dani Moonstar scaled next to Kitty Pryde and Boom Boom. It's nice to see these two figures scale next to each other because, of course, Kitty Pryde is wearing the New Mutant uniform. However, she has the X on her belt, whereas Dani Moonstar has the X on her chest. They are the same height. Kitty Pryde looks a little bit more human-like, even though this is the comic book version of the character. Dani Moonstar looks a little bit more comic bookish than her. Nonetheless, they scale real nice next to each other. And of course, we have Boom Boom. I added her because she was also at one time one of the New Mutants. And here she is scaled next to Magic and Shatterstar. Magic is a tad bit shorter than Dani Moonstar, which is appropriate. In fact, I think Wolsbane or Karma is a little bit shorter than Dani Moonstar too. We'll look at that a little bit more closely whenever we examine those figures in the next upcoming reviews. Nonetheless, they scale real nice. They look great together. Can't wait to add Dani to the shelf. And here she's scaled next to two other Marvel Native American characters. We have Forge from the X-Men and one of Spider-Man's enemies, Puma. So what are my final thoughts on Dani Moonstar? Listen, y'all. It's a female Marvel Legends character. She doesn't have double jointed elbows. I really think, again, butterfly joints could work on these women and some double jointed elbows. And I think it would look real nice. Waist swivel wouldn't hurt. But overall, she's a great figure, and I really like her. I'm very pleased to have her in my collection. I look forward to doing some photography with her with a bow and arrow. Again, she came with 2 additional head sculpts, and they're just the same as the head that she has now. I'm saying that because you have to buy 3 figures, 3 more Dani Moonstars to get the 3 figures. So, that's my personal opinion on this. She comes with 2 additional head sculpts that are the same. She comes with 2 additional bow and arrows that are the same. And 4 additional hands that are absolutely the same. I wish it was a box set, and we could have got a little bit more diversity with the accessories. So with that said, I still love this figure. The head sculpt is amazing. I'm glad to have another Native American figure in my collection. And with that said, y'all, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Grab that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell, give the video a like, and until next time, which is really soon, we're going to review Wolsbane. As we say here in New Orleans, laissez les bons temps rouler, mon ami.